Ladies and gentlemen, we start off with this next keynote speaker, Mr. Avesh Malik. He's the technical head, Northeast India and Middle East, Radware. I'll request him to kindly come onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Avesh Malik. He's here and he will take on the stage and he will be sharing a lot of his thoughts with us. He's the technical head, Northeast India and Middle East, Radware. So I'll request him to kindly come onto the stage.
Just to check, I'm audible? The voice is clear? Okay, perfect. It always makes me wonder that people get up 8, 9 o'clock in the morning and they get a security presentation. The point that I'm trying to discuss today is around the cyber war, okay? And I would like to cover certain things from global phenomena, that what is happening around the globe and what we can do, in order to protect our applications out there. I'm not sure if you recall this guy. His name is Richard Clarke. Anybody knows Richard Clarke? Heard of him before? He is one of the very, very prominent personality in cyber security. He is the cybersecurity advisor for Donald Reagan, which is one of the US president, and then to George Bush. This guy has written a book on cyber war, and he has articulated 4 motives that why somebody generates a cyber attack at first place. It's a very, very, good read in case you want to have to start with as a cybersecurity journey. Please just, I encourage everyone to look at it. So out of the motives, that the first motive that he mentioned is about cybercrime. Cybercrime which is financially motivated, like the people who are trying to attack some organization to gain money, to gain financial incentives. The second motive is about hacktivism, which we're going to discuss a lot today in this course of the presentation. Hacktivism is about ideas, it's not about money. The third one is espionage, and then the war itself. So are we in middle of a cyber war? And think about this really, are we in middle of a cyber war right now? 2 years back, 2.5 years back to be precise, in February, Russia invaded Ukraine. And before the war started on ground, there was a cyber activity, there was a cyber attacks that started from Russian state-sponsored, these are Russian state-sponsored attacks. So a lot of groups which are participating into this were Killnet, No Name, Passion Group. These are all hacktivist groups who have started attacking Ukrainian organizations. Right from the airports, their public infrastructure, their government websites, their commercial banks, their healthcare, every single piece of their infrastructure was attacked. Who are these groups? These are the names, okay? So as I said, I'm trying to cover the global phenomena. So from that perspective, you see No Name, Killnet, these are big, massive names out there. And now these groups initially started as a financially motivated group who used to send ransoms to the organizations. If not being paid, they keep on attacking to make sure that the organizations are impacted. But now these groups have state, support. So they're state sponsored now. So they have more money, they have more financial support. And if you see the convictions, like the people who have been arrested in this space is very, very less. So they're making good money out of it. From religious perspective, you see there are multiple groups, Anonymous Sudan, Mysterious Team, Dragon Force Malaysia, Team Insane PK. These are all groups who are financially motivated. I'm going to cover few stories that how this religious motivation actually, push the attackers to attack someone, okay? I have certain use cases and case studies throughout the presentation. The thing that has gone worse is that it's not just the cyber attacks that are taking place. It's also that the bad guys, after attacking you, are bragging it on social media. So if you are part of an organization, if you are actually running some services, and let's say you are a commercial bank or you are a healthcare institution, if you are down last night, they will put it on social media, on Telegram channels, on Twitter, everywhere. And the next day when a normal person who's, just go through his feeds on the social media channels, he will see that, okay, this website was down. So the first thing that it does is that it impacts the reputation of that particular company. The second piece, of course, there is financial loss. You know, if you are into a banking industry and your services are not available for, let's say, 8 hours or 10 hours, it's a direct financial impact on you. So Canadian PM website, some banks, Zurich airports, so all of these were attacked. I'm not sure if you're able to see the name of the countries. Is it visible to you guys? The name of the countries. If not, I'll read it for you. Canada, Italy, Sweden, United Kingdom, Denmark. What's common about all these? France. NATO. Perfect answer. So you deserve a prize after this. So these are all NATO countries, you know, because why these are NATO countries are being attacked? Because the bad guys from Russia, they don't like the support to Ukraine. Anybody who's part of NATO was attacked. And this is the heat map, you know, covered from the last year. That's how they have been attacked. And there are claimed attacks, you know, on social media. So few of the attacks. So my major focus is into the Middle East market and India North and East market. So there are certain snapshots from UAE where their airports were down, their news agencies were down, Emirates news agency, and these are the snapshot covered from the social channels. It's all publicly available information. It's not something that we have derived. You see the claimed attacks which are, you know, with proof. By the way, this is the way they put it on Telegram. So the attacker group here is RippleSec, okay? And the Bank of India, there are other, the Hindu, a lot of other attacks were there, a lot of customers were there, but this is just a snapshot to show you that this is how they attack you and this is how they put it on social media. There are certain things which I want to tell you that the contestant before me was talking about AI and it was a very nice presentation. So in cybersecurity as well, we need to infuse the AI, you know, when you are dealing with attacks. So today, if the attackers are smart, if they are generating a lot of attacks with the use of AI, we have to make sure that we deal with those attacks using AI. A small snapshot that how we dealt with the attack that we are protecting is the signature, you know. You have signatures in your devices, in your cloud setups. With AI, you can develop these signatures on the fly without manual intervention. Even if it is a zero-day attack, there is a way that AI can build a signature within 10 seconds without any manual intervention. This is a snapshot for that. This is really helpful, you know, the kind of attacks we are seeing. Coming back to hacker groups. There are pro-Russian hacker groups, as I mentioned, that they are, you know, launching a lot of attacks towards Ukraine. But what actually is a fearsome point and what actually worries the governments across the world to a larger extent is that these groups are very easy to join. If in India we have a lot of unemployment, so it is there in Russia as well. And you are being paid if you are joining these groups. Okay, so it's as simple as that. They'll give you a link on the social media. You download the zip file, open it on your laptop, and they'll give you an IP address and you set go. The moment you do that, almost immediately you are part of the group and you are incentivized for, you know, launching attacks. So you are part of the campaign. So this is you know, one of the examples. This is the zip file that you have to download, and this is how you simply put an IP address and attack it. The second piece is around the No Name, which is one of the largest hacktivist group out of Russia. And by the way, this is a threat map again. So there are a lot of groups out there. So Anonymous Sudan, Mysterious Teams, and they have different motivations. So No Name is working as an activist organization. Anonymous Sudan is a religious group, so anything that goes against a certain religion, they come into the play and they start attacking the organizations. And it's through the dark web, by the way, but this is you know, just for the information that from social circle perspective, how the groups are operating. So Kill Milk is the leader right now in Russia, which is one of the, you know, largest group, and then there are certain other groups who are, you know, into a hierarchy perspective, they are operating under them. And All of them have motives, as I started my presentation with. So some of them financial, some of them activism, espionage, and they're part of cyber war as well. I talked about the street sentiment. I talked about the funding from state. I talked about the Russian support or the nation support, not just Russia. Like I'm using the examples from Russia, don't think I'm against Russia. It's every country today. You know, if you talk about Ukraine, if you talk about US, if you talk about China, every country is, you know, having or are breeding grounds today for these activists. So just an example, in Russia, like we have PC Jewelers or maybe Malabar in India, they have hooligans. This is one of the, you know, what do you say, a jeweler, a very well-known jeweler in Russia, okay, and on Valentine's Day, they published jewelries with Killnet branding. Okay, Killnet is one of the largest group, which is an activist group. Every purchase of this jewelry, 50% of the fund will go to the, in support of the activist. So this is the street support that is coming out. On top of it, there is a singer called as Kayo Boya, which is just like a rapper in India. For example, if you know Badshah or if you know Honey Singh, is the same kind of rapper in Russia, and they have released music in support of Killnet. So Killnet Flow is a music which is available on Apple Music, YouTube channels, Ghana.com, any you know, song website you can think of. Why I am telling you this? It is not directly related to cyber security, but it is related because there are people who are actually supporting these bad organizations openly now. This is the guy, this is the only pic that is available. He is the owner of Hooligans, and you can see a ring for him, earring for her, and this is how they are creating jewelries and funding the state. This is just one example I want to throw in. Then you have Passion Group, and this is the service price that you need to pay. For example, if you want to launch DDoS attack for 7 days, what is the price you think you know, one should pay? $30. And think of the scarcity now. If you have to bring a bank down, $30 is the amount you need to pay, and it will be down for 7 days. And this is all prices out there on the cyber attack service platform under dark web. 1 month, if you have to continue the attack, you have to pay $120. 1 year, it is 14,040. And these are the, you know, Passion botnet, which is a very sophisticated botnet that generates attack towards the organizations. And as I said, it's not just Russia. You see Ukraine, you know, it's a government official of Ukraine, and it's again publicly collected post. They are telling that we are looking for cyber activists and attackers who can actually come and help us fighting for the right cause as per Ukraine, and they want patriotic activists. So they are calling for help, and this is one of the posts out there. I also spoke about religious motivation, so I'll give you a case study on that. So in Sydney, Australia, there is a festival that happens every year. We call it Melbourne Fashion Festival. The picture that you see on the screen is of a model that walks on the ramp, and on the dress, something is written like Allah walks with me. And it is something which is not appreciated by a specific religious group, okay? And everybody has views, so they didn't like this. And what happens eventually is that, as a next step, is that there are certain activist groups that immediately joined the army, and they started cyber army, and they started to attack Australian organizations, including airports, healthcare, financial institutions, government websites, the very next day. Who are these groups? One of the group is Mysterious Team, some group from, you know, Pakistan, and some group from, you know, again, originated out of Sudan. So, as you can see on the screen, on March 17th, the first target was government, ports, bank, and private businesses. On March 24th, Anonymous Sudan, which is a bigger brother, which is having much more sophisticated power in terms of generating the attacks, joined this, and then universities, airports, hospitals were also attacked. So this is an example that tells you that not just the financial motivation, it's also the organizations that are, supporting a specific religion can also come into the play and, hurt any organization. So this is one of the example. Okay, so meet this guy. His name is Daniel Kai. He is from Liberia. Now, why I'm showing you this is because right now this guy is behind the bars, and Bloomberg is a fantastic place where you can go and read about him. I'll tell you what he did. So there, in motivation, there is a motivation, we call it like competitiveness, okay? So there are two major ISPs in Liberia. One of the ISP is Cellcom, the other one ISP is Lone Star. So the CEO of Cellcom was paying $10,000 to this person to create attacks on Lone Star. He worked for 2 months. After 2 months, when he launched the attack, it was a DDoS attack, distributed denial of service. When he launched the attack, he took Liberia from the face of the earth. The ocean channels, the pipes that goes from the internet side, the bandwidth was choked for 1.5 hours, and you can see it on Bloomberg. It's a fantastic, read. Right now, he's behind the bars. He was caught immediately, and this is an example that how a competitiveness in the market can also create these kind of attacks. People can use the bad guys to have competitive advantage because they want a specific ISP to suffer, so they can gain more customers. So this is the idea behind this attack. There are a lot of tools out there, and now the tools are AI based, so it is fairly easy for guys even who don't have technical knowledge or in-depth understanding of the, the matter in terms of technical understanding. They can also generate attacks. So Sapphira, Blurred, MS-DDoS, CC, these are all attack tools that exist today. It is present on open web. These are all AI enabled tools. Anybody can download and use them to attack anyone. So think of a scenario where a person who doesn't know anything technically but still being enabled to attack an organization, maybe a disgruntled employee in your organization who is not liking the way he has, you have planned his exit. Maybe he's trying to attack your organization, so there can be any dimension to it. So the idea is that there are a lot of AIs, involved into it. And the impact is such that it's not just the organizations, also the OEMs with the scale of Microsoft. If you see this public post from Microsoft itself, the Azure was down because of a DDoS attack. And we really like the integrity. There are very few OEMs who have the heart and come up and say that, okay, we were down because of these and these reasons, and these are the preventive steps we have taken as a, to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Microsoft confirms that this is a layer 7 DDoS attack. It was not layer 3, layer 4. It came from public cloud proxies and multiple servers out there. And it continues. After 4 months, it again continued. And then this year, or June 30th, again, the Azure services were targeted. Why I'm showing you this is because I want you to understand the scale. If a company like Microsoft can can go down because of layer 7 DDoS attack, see the level of sophistication the attackers would have with them, that they're making sure that the compute that they have, they're not able to survive, and the services are getting impacted. Important, we need to fight AI with AI, which is the theme. I think everybody is discussing about AI. AI is a very, very broad concept. But from cybersecurity perspective, we have, it's not something new to us as a company. We are working on this from last 7 years now. And there are a lot that we have launched in terms of, AI inclusion into our mitigation appliances and technologies. So one variant which I would like to discuss from DDoS perspective, by the way, anybody who doesn't know DDoS is distributed denial of service. It's a tactic that is being used by the bad guys to fill up your internet pipe or to target your application. So that is unavailable to the legitimate users. So if you have a user base, for example, a healthcare, somebody uses your website to basically book appointments with doctor, that website will not be available. If you are a bank, your, let's say, the online platform where people go and do the transactions, that will not be available. So that's how DDoS can impact you. So there's a new vector that has been launched by these guys in the last 2 years, and this vector was seen for the first time by, by the Radware team when Russia invaded Ukraine. So Russian guys, No Name is the group that initially launched this particular attack, and that's when we come to know about it. And the characteristics of this attack is like this. It is very high in volume, it's ultra high RPS, we call it tsunami for that reason. It's encrypted in nature, and the worst part is that it changes itself, on the fly without manual intervention. So there are randomized headers, IP spoofing, all that stuff happening. We recently blocked an attack on one of the largest financial institution in UAE. It was 15 million RPS HTTP flood. Before this, Google reported 49 million RPS that they have blocked, but that was spread across 26 customers. It is arguably one of the largest attacks this world has ever seen on a single website, on a single customer. Successfully blocked with the use of AI. At Radware, we have scrubbing facilities across the globe, 23 worldwide, 15 terabytes of mitigation capacity, 40 plus AppSec POPs. We have everything on tier 1 backbone to make sure that services are up and running for our customers. A fully managed SOC is there, which is 24/7, 365. These are ERT experts. By the way, we are the first one to launch ERT services. Before this, there was a concept of TAC. So everybody was offering TAC services where you log a ticket and somebody will come and support you. ERT are experts. These are like kind of a white hat hackers who are sitting by your side whenever you are under attack. This team will come to rescue immediately. A broad way, what we are doing in security is that these are your applications, mobile apps, web application, API. You have them hosted on data center, you have them hosted on AWS, Azure, multi-cloud, Kubernetes, anywhere. And then you have internet, which is full of bad guys. You have all kind of attacks there, DDoS attack, web attacks. There are known bad actors, API actors, so cloud threats are there. So what we are doing in this space is that we are creating a security arc. We have range of deployments, we have range of products that we basically use to make sure that you're safe from internet threats, okay? So anything that comes from outside, you're safe against that. The best part is that it's a fully managed services that we are offering. In India, we have 2 scrubbing facilities, one in Chennai, the other one is Mumbai, to make sure that even if something goes wrong with one of the facility, you are taken care of. It's millions of dollars of investment that we have done. And we're the first one in the industry to provide you SLAs from time to detect, to alert, to divert, to mitigate with consistency of mitigation. So if you're a company that is having, who's very strict that, my services should not go down, we will write this SLA, we'll sign up this SLA in advance, which makes sure that your services are up and running. So any guesses what happened between 26 July and 11 August? Another prize for the gentleman who will answer it. 26 July and 11 August. Okay, Olympics, right? So it was Olympics, one of the, I think, largest sporting games. So this is a snapshot from, because we were protecting Olympics. So the 7.9 million attacks were launched when Olympics was aired through the broadcasting channels, and we are proud that everybody was able to see it because we blocked all the attacks that were launched towards the website through which these channels are being aired. Thank you guys. Any questions?
I think, sir, we'll take the questions offline if you don't mind.
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
We request you to remain on stage, please. And I'll request Mr. Dhruva Mukherjee, who's the CEO of ABP Group, to kindly come forward and present a memento to Mr. Avesh Malik. Thank you very much, sir, for the very interesting session. I'm sure a lot of you have questions. We will take these offline. Thank you, sir. We request you to take your seat in the auditorium. Thank you, Mr. Dhruva Mukherjee.